Hello, minions. Yes, it's me again. No, there's nothing here this time that overwhelmed the wizard's tender sensibilities. No murder of children or anything like that. I just noticed it was the return of one of my favorite players from the Night Below campaign, and I wanted to narrate this one. What is it the wizard always says? Mm-hmm. As is the custom around here, the action is recreated using the Order of the Stick monster for every season cutout minis. Today's players. Nathaniel is Colin Bush, Lawful Cleric of Elona, level 4. Scott is Seneca Christ, Lawful Cleric of Fultus, level 4. Neil is Onion Buns Bumblestump, Neutral Halfling, level 2. Rhiannon is Plexus Goric, Chaotic Dwarf, level 2. And fan favorite from the Night Below campaign, Sean playing to his strengths with the Chaotic Dwarf, Craig Rockslam. At the Keep on the Borderlands, the group is at the Traveller's Inn. I mean, where else would they be? And they're exchanging news updates. The biggest news of the region is the blight that's affecting farmers' fields. Bumblestump was part of a group that tracked goblins to a cave. Senek was part of a recent effort to go deal with the goblins of the cave, but his team was sidetracked by wyverns. It's been discovered that the blight dissolves in water, so the rainfall has helped, but the blighted land is still damaged, and goblins sneak in at nightfall to destroy other parts of the farms. Not engaging in battle, just sneaking around in the dark. The head of Colin's parish has told him of a lost shrine of Elona that's nearby with a blessed fountain. They believe the blessed waters from this fountain might restore the destroyed land. It's also mentioned that the scepter of Elona is in the hands of the hobgoblin chief, and there's fear that Elona is displeased and actually allowing this blight, because no efforts have been made to bring the scepter back to the shrine in Kleina. Crag Rockslam seems disinterested, and instead talks of his treasure map leading to treasure, something he treasures. Plexus is also most interested in this until both Colin and Senek point out that dealing with the blight is important if people want to eat come wintertime. If the harvest is diminished, food will be scarce when the snows hit. They can't eat treasure, though Crag Rockslam stares off for a moment, no doubt considering the possibility. Ultimately, both Crag and Plexus yield to this logic, and the group decides to head to the Goblin Cave to discover the source of the blight. Bumblestump, having been there before, can lead them. Senek has retained Oscar from the previous adventure and pays his fees, but they also seek other retainers, finding only one interested party. A leveled retainer called Brack. Brack was a previous retainer to another adventuring group who leveled up and is now offering his services for 1/4 of the spoils. Colin negotiates him down to 1/5 and a gold piece per day. Plexus mutters under her breath that they won't have to pay if he doesn't live. Good for her, learning those important lessons nice and early. They pack up and Brack meets them at the gate, fully armored. They head out to Kleina. 3/4 into the travel day, they spot a strange, multicolored bird. Colin and Crag immediately recognize the species as they usher the team to the tree line. It lands nearby, seemingly non-hostile, but it's curious and approaches. They withdraw further, hoping not to provoke it, but the dice are rolled and it becomes aggressive. A brief fight ensues, but Oscar and Brack are turned to stone before the group blinds it with magic and kills it. Bumblestump scoops up the carcass into his sack, and Crag talks about his last encounter with a cockatrice during the investigation of the missing provisioner a year prior. He boasts about how he was able to resist the stoning effect with his sheer dwarven willpower. The crew collects the gear from their petrified allies and carefully tuck the statues securely out of sight in the tree line, but they might collect them later when they can find some way to remove the petrification. Arriving at Kleina, the team splits up. Onion Buns and Colin head to the Church of Elona to get information and possible recruits. Senek and Plexus seek out farmers and inquire if anyone knows about the Shrine of Elona. Crag goes to get a drink at the inn and attempts to sell various spoons to Bauer, the innkeep and mayor of Kleina. Spoons that Crag previously stole on a whim. Colin and Onion Buns don't get any new information, but two acolytes, the dull-witted Fitzwilliam and the clumsy Hugh, agree to help them assail the goblin lair to solve the blight. Seneca and Plexus speak to an older farmer couple and learn that the Shrine of Alona was the main place of worship a generation past before the keep on the Borderlands was built. Their parents worshipped there, and it suggested that other families may have elders who remember the way. The group reconvenes to discuss their plans with Bauer. He tells them that he'll provide a writ of reward if they can stop the blight, at least 1,000 royals to be claimed at the keep if they present the writ to the castellan. The group waits overnight so they can recover their spells. Colin and Seneca coordinate their abilities for maximum effectiveness. The next morning, Bumblestump leads them to the Goblin Cave. A thin trail of smoke comes from a rocky area. Onion Bun scouts and sees a natural flue that allows the smoke to exit. They briefly discuss blocking it off and smoking the goblins out, but the size of the crevasse and the flue means they need more materials, so instead Onion Bun sneaks in to scout. He sees the rough door with the "Humans Keep Ut" sign, flimsy but closed. Quietly opening it, he sees a sleeping guard. He draws his bow and shoots, killing the goblin instantly, and more importantly, quietly. He drags the body out, then sneaks back in, and scouts further ahead, seeing 2 goblins sleeping in pallets, while 3 others gamble in a corner. Onion Bun slips out to report to the group. They concoct a plan wherein they will use the dwarves' ability to speak goblin to call them over one at a time. Colin blesses the team with a spell, and they set up a formation. Plexus calls out in goblin, attempting to trick the goblins. The goblins are suspicious at first, with her being a little more eloquent than goblins normally speak. But 2 of them come to investigate nonetheless. The team launches a sneak attack, killing 1 goblin, but the other flees. Positioning is tight, and Plexus takes a hit of friendly fire by Colin. They cut down the goblin as it runs. The others scream in alert, rousing the sleeping goblins before trying to run up the corridor. The group moves forward just into the line of sight, and with initiative manage to kill it and the 2 just waking up before they're able to raise a proper alarm. They take stock, collecting a pile of gold coin and 2 gems into a sack, and sending Hugh out to put it on the mule. Onion Bun scouts ahead, seeing the massive muted goblin from before squishing some kind of beetle in a wine press. It creates the black oily blight, which the mutant pours into water skins. Onion Buns returns, and they make a plan to lure it out. Setting up another ambush formation, Onion Buns creeps forward to initiate the attack. Onion Buns takes a pot shot, scoring a solid hit, then flees as the creature reacts and gives chase. Onion Buns rushes past the others who have set up at the end of the hall. The creature sprints after him, arriving in front of Crag, who takes a swing and takes a chunk out of the mutant. The others launch their attacks, greatly injuring it. Morale is rolled, but a 3 indicates that it is enraged and keeps fighting. The team loses initiative, and the creature brings down its mace hand on Crag Rockslam, scoring a hit. Oh no, not my Craggy. The damage is D10 plus 1. A 7 is rolled. Plus 1 is 8. Crag has 8 hit points. Just enough to kill him. No! Plexus has opted to remain at the back in combat, as is her wont. The torch is passed. I shall watch this one's career with great interest. The next bombardment of attacks and spells finishes the movement off. Our usual contrived character entrance sees Sean's other established character Namor joining the group, having gotten wind of their efforts and following to join them, arriving just as combat ends, of course. The team checks out the press room. The stench is putrid, but they find that the beetle carcasses seem to be the source of the blight. Hearing the sound of some combat ahead, the group opts to burn the press, then depart. They light a patch of oil in the hallway to keep anyone from following them, then cover the press in oil, as well as dumping and burning the skins full of blight in the room. Then they withdraw from the cave and return to Kalina. They report everything to Bauer, who asks if they happen to bring one of those beetles. The group sheepishly realizes that that would have been smart and set out to return to grab a sample. Arriving back at the goblin lair, the goblins are now on alert, and as the group approaches, wolf riders appear. 2 at first, then another 2. Rather than risk fighting, the group retreats. The wolves give chase, and the DM uses the evasion metric from Old School Essentials. After 1 turn of pursuit, the wolf riders give up and return home. The group escapes and returns to Kleina once again. The team is rewarded for their efforts, and Bumblestump states that he wants to go back in force to finish off the goblins and end the blight once and for all. The rest of the team concurs. Experience points are awarded, and Plexus, being only 1 point away, makes level 3. She rolls high for her hit points, giving her a nice healthy 20 in total. She has promised minions. My new favorite chaotic dwarf. Oh, and the session ends there. Well, minions, another excursion to the Goblin Caves featured in the Creation's Edge Games module, the Sorrowblight Fields, from the Dungeons of Days Gone By line. Though, not too much more has been revealed. That giant goblin mutant, otherwise known as Grug, posed quite an obstacle. It's noteworthy, however, that they played smart, using their strengths. Bumblestump's stealth, Senec's magic, Plexus's self-serving caution. Oh, poor Crag Rockslam didn't make it, but that was just a tad too much bad luck on his part. He almost survived. Still, with the Grug defeated, subsequent incursions won't have to deal with it. A beast that is very capable of whittling a group down to size, as you've seen with the 2 attempts. The source of the blight is revealed, the essence of some strange, pulverized beetle. But what is it? Where did it come from? A mystery yet to be revealed when the next group tackles the scenario. There's not too much to go over here, as they didn't encounter anything beyond what was already revealed, and I don't want to spoil anything. But the scenario is quite an interesting little one. It starts out with a little mystery, and while this playthrough didn't milk that aspect of the module, it's certainly possible that an enterprising dungeon master could get a few sessions of roleplay and investigation out of that first part alone, teasing the mystery of the Sorrowblight until it finally leads them to the goblins. Then there's the Goblin Cave, with some fun surprises. Enough goblins to pose a threat to many low-level groups, the mutant Grug, wolf riders, and the goblins' leader, a very special menace yet to be revealed. The new dwarf Plexus Goric has risen through the ranks quite fast. Her player, Rhiannon, has lost a few characters, but I think this one will stick. Enough hit points to survive most blows, enough sense to stay at the back and let the others do the dying. She'll go far indeed. Join the wizard for the next session, which sees the return of the dungeon minister helping some of the regulars make a final push into the deeper lair and coming face to face with the source of the Sorrowblight. So stay tuned, minions. It's coming soon. I'll be absent. There's a little too much holiness going on. It's all for now.